Hi everyone, my name is Erin Everett and I am going to be presenting my analysis on Dick's Sporting Goods. In Birmingham, New York in 1948, 18-year-old Dick Stack opened up his first bait and tackle shop with a $300 loan from his grandmother. In the years that followed, the product line expanded and Dick opened a second store. Eventually, Dick's son Ed purchased the two stores from his father and developed the company into the Dick's Sporting Goods that we know today. Now headquartered here in Pittsburgh, Dick's Sporting Goods, Inc. is a leading omni-channel sporting goods retailer operating in over 700 locations in the United States. The company's product portfolio is classified into four product segments: hardlines, apparel, footwear, and other. The hardlines segment offers products related to sporting goods, fitness, golf, and hunting equipment. Apparel includes athletic apparel, outerwear, and sportswear designed for a wide range of activities for men, women, girls, and boys. The footwear segment includes a range of athletic shoes for running, tennis, cross-training, and various sports for men, women, and children. And lastly, the other segment is comprised of non-merchandise categories such as electronics and other accessories. Within each of these segments, products are offered under both licensed national brands such as Nike, North Face, Under Armour, and Callaway, as well as private labels including Walter Hagen, Field & Stream, Top Flight, and Kalia by Carrie Underwood. In recent years, the company has made numerous mergers and acquisitions. Dick's Sporting Goods owns and operates Golf Galaxy and Field & Stream specialty retail stores, which offer golf and hunting or fishing equipment apparel respectively. After the bankruptcy of the Sports Authority, Dick's took over the rights to the storefronts as well as the customer base of that company. And more recently, Dick's established Team Sports HQ, which is a youth sports digital platform that offers league managing services, scheduling apps, communications, scorekeeping, uniforms, and fanware, as well as access to donations and sponsorships. Dick's Sporting Goods operates under a very concise belief that sports make everything better. To support this belief, Dick's mission is: we create an environment where passionate and skilled teammates thrive. We create and build leading brands that serve and inspire athletes. We make a lasting impact on communities through sport. We deliver shareholder value through growth and relentless improvement. This mission comes together with Dick's common purpose. We create confidence and excitement by personally equipping all athletes to achieve their dreams. The company operates under a product differentiation strategy. The target market is broad, so demand is vast. However, the products and service that they provide are unique, and their quality is high, allowing them to sell their products at a premium. Dick's targets sports, health, and fitness enthusiasts at all ages, genders, and interests. Whether a consumer is a 10-year-old football player or a middle-aged yoga instructor, he or she can find the clothing and equipment to fit their needs at a Dick's store. That being said, Dick's stores offer unprecedented service with a knowledgeable staff that invests their time with customers to provide a truly customized solution to their needs. The sporting goods industry under which Dick's operates is comprised of establishments that are primarily engaged in retailing new sporting goods, including biking, camping, exercise, and sports equipment, as well as athletic uniforms, sports footwear, and accessories. As of 2017, the industry as a whole generated $44.6 billion. The top 5 retailers, including Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy Sports, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, REI, and Big 5, comprise over half the market share of this industry. In order to understand the external factors that influence trends in the sporting goods industry, I conducted a Pestel analysis. One of the largest political factors within the industry relates to firearms. Sales have a tendency to surge when there's political turmoil, especially regarding Second Amendment rights, as well as when there's political talk of firearm restrictions. On the other hand, in the event that firearms do become restricted, sales will experience a sharp decline, and regulations will be much stronger on companies within the industry. Economic factors relate to consumer spending. Overall, spending has seen year-over-year increases, which in theory support additional spend within the industry. In actuality, however, sporting goods CPI has declined over the past 2 consecutive years. Overall, the economic growth rate and levels of discretionary income have an impact on consumers' ability to spend money on sporting goods products. Multiple socio-cultural factors have a significant impact on the industry. First, trends in consumer interests, such as youth sports participation and fashion preferences, have a significant effect on demand. On the plus side, activewear now makes up 16% of the overall apparel market, as women are shifting their style towards athleisure clothing that can be worn throughout the day. On the other hand, the industry is experiencing a slowdown in sporting goods as youth sports participation is declining. In addition to preferences, sports team performance has a substantial impact on industry sales, particularly geographically, because revenues spike immediately after the Super Bowl and the World Series, for example, especially in the winning team's city. One of the most pressing technological factors in the industry relates to e-commerce. This rising trend has proven difficult for the industry as many retailers outsource their online sales. Despite total sales levels, e-commerce sales in the industry have failed to even reach $10 million annually. Another technological factor is innovation. Industry sales are softening as time passes by without the introduction of a viral new product. Ecological factors include regulations and views on hunting, fishing, and camping, as well as weather conditions and climate change. And lastly, legal factors include various laws that relate to copyrights, patents, and intellectual property, as well as employment and health and safety. To further examine the external environment, Porter's 5 forces can be used to identify the industry's profit potential and derive implications for DSG's strategic positioning. Threat of entry into the industry is low. The vast majority of industry revenues are generated by only a few of the leading companies, so the likelihood of a new entrant capturing market share is slim. Power of suppliers is high. From a consumer standpoint, brand loyalty is much stronger than retailer loyalty, as most consumers have a preferred brand of athletic apparel or other sporting goods. As a result, the brands that supply to retailers have a great deal of power. Power of buyers is high as well, for very similar reasons. In addition to the fact that many consumers are not loyal to a particular retailer, switching costs are non-existent because the products sold are not differentiated. Threat of substitutes is especially high, as there is an increasing trend for consumers to purchase sporting goods from online e-commerce sites such as Amazon, and athletic wear from retailers such as H&M, who do not generally produce sporting goods. Furthermore, Walmart, while not grouped in the sporting goods industry, is actually the leading sporting goods retailer with $9.3 billion in sales. Dick's comes in second, but only at $6 billion. Lastly, rivalry among competitors is also high in the industry overall, particularly as the previous 4 forces put pressure on competition. I conducted a SWOT analysis on Dick's Sporting Goods to determine what internal strengths can be leveraged in order to exploit external opportunities, as well as what internal weaknesses and external threats must be mitigated. The company's core strengths include continuous revenue growth, a strong brand portfolio, and successful omni-channel selling. Despite the industry's turmoil, Dick's has achieved year-over-year increases in sales and is outperforming its competitors. This is attributable to its diversified portfolio of acquired companies such as Golf Galaxy and Field & Stream, its subsidiary companies under the youth sports platform Team Sports HQ, and its successful implementation of e-commerce, ship from store, and buy online and pick up in store selling. On the other hand, Dick's suffers from weaknesses, including a decreasing operating margin, gaps in product range, and losing market share in niche categories. Margins have decreased from 8.6% in 2014 to just 5.3% in 2018, indicating an inability to maintain leverage in operating expenses. To make matters worse, the company has failed to fill in the gaps of offerings sold, passing on sales to competitors, particularly in niche sales categories. The external environment presents opportunities for Dick's, including an increasing demand for private label brands, growing e-commerce market, and an increasing consumer disposable income. Consumers have more cash on hand to spend on retail items such as sporting goods. That being said, customers are now more than ever on a budget, pushing them more towards purchasing private label brands because they're cheaper, as opposed to the bigger names. Additionally, the online retail market in the U.S. is growing substantially with no plateau in sight. These opportunities are combated by threats to the external environment, such as competitor expansion, increasing labor costs, and changing consumer buying patterns. Domestic and international, national or local, specialty or department stores, the retail industry is constantly growing and developing, putting pressure on DICK'S to maintain market share. To fuel this fire, the market is continually changing fashion trends, and consumers are continually evolving their buying patterns in ways that are often difficult for retailers to predict and get ahead of. Lastly, manpower costs in the U.S. have been increasing over the past several years as a result of tight labor markets and government-mandated increases in wages, placing a constraint on cost control. The sporting goods industry as a whole faces threats to DICK'S Sporting Goods, and the company itself possesses weaknesses that may prove problematic to its long-term success. Based on the external environment analysis of the industry and the internal analysis of the company, DICK'S strategic issue becomes apparent. How can DICK'S Sporting Goods withstand the volatility of the industry and changing consumer behaviors to prevent from falling behind? Sociocultural factors such as consumer buying patterns, fashion trends, and sports participation are difficult to predict, let alone combat, but these issues play a vital role in generating revenues. Online presence is proving to be a vital asset for companies within the retail industry as e-commerce is increasing in popularity. Brand loyalty, power of suppliers, and power of buyers place pressure on retailers that may be harmful to operating costs. Substitute products and competitor companies only add to this pressure. The implications of these factors become evident in the company's income statement, particularly their declining operating margin. DICK'S is constantly striving to combat these threats and weaknesses and already have some strategies in place to do so. The company is committed to a long-term strategy that focuses on the longevity of the business as opposed to immediate benefits. They have built strong relationships with suppliers such as Nike and Under Armour to secure loyalty and pricing. They have invested time, money, and manpower into their new e-commerce platform. They founded a charity to support youth sports in school. Nevertheless, DICK'S is still beginning to suffer from the same issues many of its competitors have fallen victim to that have proven detrimental. Recommendations for DICK'S involve leveraging expenses, product innovation, e-commerce investment, and remaining current on consumer trends. Labor and cost of goods sold are the driving forces in operating margin decline. Since hourly wages are so heavily regulated, one of DICK'S core strengths is its committed labor force. The company should consider a shift towards more full-time salary employees in the stores. This would minimize risk associated with minimum wage requirements while retaining skilled workers. Cost of goods sold is driven by the price external suppliers are charging to DICK'S for products. Since brand loyalty is so strong, DICK'S should not compromise or reduce the products sold by key name brands. Instead, they can reduce the number of suppliers to the ones customers are most committed to. Additionally, they should invest heavily in marketing and advertising for their own private label brands, which can be sold at a higher margin. Product innovation is one way for DSG to stand out above competitors since a new innovative sporting goods product has not come onto the market since activity tracking watches. With no debt and such a strong cash position, DSG has the resources to invest heavily into R&D in order to develop a brand new exclusive product. DICK'S has already invested resources into its omni-channel presence, but they still place the majority of their focus on brick-and-mortar stores. DICK'S can move additional capital away from the stores and into the e-commerce platform to shift their presence into what today's consumers are looking for. This may be in the form of halting store growth in order to invest in a specialized service-based website. Predicting trends in terms of fashion and sports participation is key to long-lasting success in the sporting goods industry. The company should devote time and resources necessary to ensure they are selling current, in-demand products and staying ahead of trends and predicting youth sports participation. This will likely be in the form of market research